Thanks for tuning in here live to jwtv. For the most part, people just run out and do whatever, and they just guinea pigs. So, I can tell you what's about to happen, and I can tell you what top secret agency is involved, but you can just go and watch this video and then run out just like the other people do and don't even give a dang about what's going to happen to yourself. So, again, I'm not making videos for those people. I'm making videos for people who want to know what's going on. And we got to talk about the water shortage because there's something else specific being done with the water supply that's going to be very important to know if you're in the drought region. So we're going to get into this here live today. Thanks for tuning in. Who was the first to declare an emergency? Kern County was the first to do it, and this was the first local emergency in California that we're going to let you hear here in just a second. What's going on, Foley? Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Let's get you into this. Then I'm going to tell you what technology, what are they going to use in the water, and this is what they're going to come to save you with, because it's like you always got to have a problem, reaction, a solution. And so you can prevent this from happening. We'll tell you how to, and we'll tell you what they'll be specifically saying when the Agenda 2030 billion replacement plan, my basically replacement for people being displaced by water, is underway. Let's play this clip.
Emergency due to our severe water shortage and ongoing drought conditions. 17's Eitan Wallace in studio now with what that means for the people who live here in the Golden Empire. Eitan.
And Jim, let's start by showing you this map. This is as of yesterday, and as you can see, all of Kern is now in extreme drought. And this afternoon, supervisors passed a local emergency resolution seeking immediate assistance from the state, asking the Newsom administration to transfer emergency water supplies to Kern. Now, according to county leaders, Kern already is reeling the effects of lack of water. Snowpack in the Kern River watershed is far below normal, and the governor's office.
So this is where we're at right now, right? In a crisis that when you got all the water still in the inner earth, and they don't want to tell you about that, all right? But they do take trips and they go look for that water. So again, engineered water crisis on the way. And then let's go into it as we talk about it a little bit more. And I lived in AZ; it was pretty dry up there as well. But it was still ways to beat that. And there's drought resistant plants like cactus and everything else. Obviously, the cattle ranchers will cull cows at 60% of U.S. herd face drought. It's another thing they're talking about. And so as we go into all these situations, we're going to take you into what the agency, the top secret agency, is going to expand and do to some of the water supply in these drought region areas. So the first test bed, as you look at this map, the first test bed is going to be that region of the United States where you see all the drought supposedly happening. And so we're about to take you into what they're saying they're going to do, and we're going to tell you what this details. And obviously, they always want to slaughter the animals in a crisis. So going into this situation, because they're just that evil, man. They just like to slaughter everything. That's how it works. So a revolutionary material can make water out of air. And see, here's the thing. Why do we need this revolutionary material? I'm going to tell you about, because we already have material that you can use. Remember I told y'all about hydro panels? Well, guess what they're going to be putting in these? A revolutionary material can make water out of thin air. It could help in the world's water shortage. May 5th, 2021. Guess who's investing in it? You'll see in just a second. The same people that want to take over your body, the same people who want robotic control of you, they're going to be helping you out now. So when you hear about this, you need to know that you shouldn't take this option. And again, it's up to every individual what they do. Sadly, even the world's stock of drinkable water is finite, and as the event of climate change, they say, accelerates, you always got to say that more communities and nations could begin to suffer substantial losses as conventional global infrastructure seems incapable of picking up the slack unless we can engineer a new way of procuring water for vulnerable communities. Oh, there it is. Let's just engineer something, right? And going into it, it says, in the fact, there are several promising materials that could help soften the blow of the growing global water shortage, according to recent studies attesting to this fact. DARPA is the one who's going to invest in this, and DARPA invests in new water absorbent materials amid global scarcity. And guess what they're going to put in the water system to so-called help you? Hydrogel, the same thing they put in the VA, you know what. And so going into it, first involved a ground up slab of hydrogel mixed with a box of plants, which flourished compared to another hydrogel lacking a box of plants that didn't make it. Little grains of hydrogel absorbed moisture from the humid night air. When morning came, the hydrogel warmed in the sunlight, releasing the water it had absorbed overnight, creating a humid, healthy situation for plants. First off, go back to who's doing it. DARPA. What are they? What are their plan? What did they state? I'll take you into that and show you the article what they said they want to actually do to humans. And so, first off, it's two types. It's metal or organic framework ones that they can use, which I'll show you here in just a second. And then we'll talk about what the hydrogel can do and how it can shape shift and move and all this weird stuff that can happen. And they want to use that for the water supply. But again, we'll go back into some deep aspect or whatever else is going on. Look, remember this? Meet hydro panel. It makes, stores, and dispenses clean mineralized water. This is a hydro panel that pulls it out of the thin air. And so this one is not made with hydrogel, and it got metal organic framework. Drinking water made from sunlight and air. Self-control delivers water directly to the tap or faucet. This could be a source for you if you're in the area with much drought happening. Now it might only do up to 3 liters to 4 liters a day of water if it's so drought like, but it still will do it. And this is probably going to be the future, honestly. If you look at how it works, the air, the solar energy pulls in all of the water from the atmosphere. Fan draws in ambient air and pushes it through hydroscopic water absorbing material that traps the water from the air vapor. And so they don't want to use this one though. They don't want to use just the normal one. They want to put hydrogel in your water. And what all details about hydrogel? Let's go to the top of Google. Let's look at some of the stuff that it basically says what are the pros and cons. Because I was just looking at this a few ago and it was like pros and cons. Well, it can kind of shapeshift and all types of stuff like that. So I want to go back real quick so I can show you that. Then I'm going to take you to deeper aspects of hydrogel and what DARPA says. So going down into it, let's go into it. Pros and cons, here it is. The main disadvantage of hydrogel is that they are non-adherent and may need to be secured by secondary dressing. Also causes a sensation felt by movement of the maggots. What is that supposed to mean? And hydrogels have a low mechanical strength and difficult to handle and are expensive. So you're talking about something in the water supply with mechanical strength. And remember, here's another thing they said. DARPA developed a hydrogel sensor which monitors blood for infections at early stages, not a microchip for CV tracker or location tracker. So again, it's just a hydrogel sensor. Don't worry, everybody. It's just a hydrogel sensor, and it is not a microchip because that's what the fact checkers are saying to you, right? But don't worry, it'll still monitor you, and it'll look for stuff in the blood, and it will check all these different things. Hydrogel. So that was the sensor they made it. They said they were gonna, let people put in their arms. Here's another article. Self-healing, shape-shifting hydrogel behaves like muscle and skin. This was a while back when researchers was talking about this. A team of the Australian National University has developed a jelly-like material that has many of the properties of living tissue. A form of hydrogel, the jelly is not only self-healing, but it's very strong and can change shape, allow it to mimic skin, ligaments, and bone. So this is the type of stuff we're talking about using with the water supply. And what was DARPA's objective? They said DARPA wants to connect human brains and machines. The hydrogel, remember, it has a way to coat itself into the layers of the body. Also, they say it goes to the spine and stuff like that where it doesn't get disattached. So DARPA wants to develop ubiquitous, non-invasive neurotechnology to integrate humans with machines, but significant obstacles are in the way. So here's the question. Do you really trust a company, or not just a company, but somebody who says we want to do this to humans? And why do we need the option to go into DARPA's hydrogel water supply supposedly save you agenda when there's other ways to do this? I just showed you the opposite hydro panel, and I'll leave a link to that below. So all I'm saying is this is a big agenda that they're going to use in a water shortage agenda, and this is an agenda that a lot of people need to know. A lot of people probably don't even care because they just go and eat everything, they just go and drink anything, and they really don't care. So most likely this video won't be even getting out there much because it'll only be getting to people like you. Only way it does get out is if people like you get it out, because for the most part people are not even going to watch the video because they don't even care, and that's where we're at in society right now. But I thank you for your support, your attention to what's going on. I'm here to expose the agendas, and that's what I'm doing every single day. So now that I expose this, remember, if you're in the drought wait on region, they're going to try this, and they're going to be putting it out there, and they're going to say this is how we're going to help save communities. And after that hydrogel gets in you, you don't know what's next from there. So thanks for tuning in. This is a live report, and get this out, everybody. Please share it out, give it a like, and we'll have more information coming. But this is just more of the crazy world we're dealing with. Yesterday I put out a video where they got patents on them using force fields, and I have that video on the right. Thanks for tuning in.